CTV News with Carlyle Fiset.
Good evening. Thanks for joining us. We're expecting an update from Stats Canada by the end of the week on the state of our region's labor force. Recent numbers have been far from flattering, with London maintaining the highest unemployment rate among major Canadian cities. However, as Jerry Dewan reports, those numbers don't necessarily tell the whole story.
They are economic factors Kapil Lokochia says are beyond local control.
The broader economy in southwestern Ontario is shaped by global pressures that, of course, include our ongoing trade negotiations with the U.S., global conflict, interest rates, and a slow housing market. All of these factors contribute towards the economic conditions that we see here on the ground.
Monthly employment numbers have been trending higher throughout the year, taking this region to the highest jobless rate in the country.
We have close to 20% of our employment covered in manufacturing and construction-related industries. We know construction is slower right now, and we know manufacturing is affected by some of these global pressures. What we are trying to do to help mitigate some of those pressures is by diversifying our industrial base. That's why you see a lot of focus in food and beverage processing industries, because it tends to withstand economic cycles a bit better.
It's an issue acknowledged by the minister responsible for FedDev Ontario during a recent funding announcement in London.
This is where the real impact of the tariff war on steel, auto, aluminum has really hit, and that's had knock-on consequences to lots of businesses here.
Federal and provincial funding and legislative changes are being used to support business growth. The coach says those programs will take time to show results. He also stresses the monthly employment numbers are best viewed as a snapshot, and he says other indicators have to be incorporated to assess the state of the economy, including the region's gross domestic product.
GDP still stays steady and projected to grow. As we know, with more nation-building projects, infrastructure, residential growth projected to meet housing targets, we expect an increase in the construction industries as well.
The coach says new manufacturing is set to come online. That includes the Medicom nitrile glove manufacturing plant and the city's advanced manufacturing park, and will bring over 100 jobs. And the big one, the PowerCo EV battery plant in St. Thomas, it's slated to begin initial production in 2027 and is expected to bring 3,000 new jobs when fully operating. Jerry Dewan, CTV News.
Teachers with the Thames Valley District School Board say children with special needs aren't getting the support they need. Local educators were in Toronto today calling on the provincial government to change the funding formula to address what they call a crisis for students with complex needs. Brian Bicknell reports.
18, subtract 9.
Elementary classes in Ontario are supposed to be capped at an average of 20 students. But Haley Van Alstyne, who teaches at a school in Thames Valley, says the number doesn't tell the whole story.
In one primary classroom in our school, there are now 22 students. 8 of those students are autistic. Several are non-speaking and require significant support throughout the school day. The challenge is not simply the number of students in the room. The challenge is ensuring that the level of support available matches the level of need present.
Van Alstyne was part of a Queen's Park news conference with New Democrat MPP Terence Kernahan, along with fellow educators and union representatives from Thames Valley, York, and Halton.
Students have been abandoned by this government, and teachers have been left to try to fill gaps.
They say access to educational assistance, language, and specialized supports and other services for children with special needs is too restrictive.
None of the support that does exist is even possible without proper testing. Testing that families are now waiting at least 2 years to access.
They're calling on the provincial government to revamp the education funding formula, directing support to where it's most needed.
Open the education funding formula to fund children based on their individual education plan to ensure that those supports that have been agreed upon by numerous professionals will actually reach that child.
Ontario has the money. This is not a budget crisis. It is a political choice. A choice to underfund, a choice to ignore evidence, a choice to let children struggle.
Brian Bicknell, CTV News.
And CTV News reached out to the Education Ministry this morning for a response to the claims made in the news conference. Ministry officials responded late this afternoon with a statement pointing to how much is spent on special education while stating they are reviewing models used across the province. A new strategy was unveiled by City Hall today meant to address growing concerns over rat infestations in residential neighborhoods. As Daryl Newcomb reports, that strategy will require some Londoners to change their behavior.
The vultures are coming into the area. That's completely unacceptable.
Vultures have been feeding on dead rats in and around these residential dumpsters in a townhouse complex on Shelburne Street. The disgusting mess is only meters from Jesse Green's front door.
We have to avoid that like the plague, basically. And, you know, I'm not sure where there's children that play around here.
Councillor Hadley McAllister has been calling for a strategy at City Hall to address the growing number of rat infestations in core neighborhoods and around the river. He says it's often the actions of humans that are attracting the rats, like illegal dumping and unmaintained properties.
Just garbage left sitting for too long, dumpsters not properly secured. Essentially, the environments in which rats thrive is really generating a lot of this activity.
City Hall's proposed strategy would take a system-wide approach at removing the resources rats need to reproduce and live, like water, food, and shelter. A staff report recommends a three-step approach: strengthen garbage storage and property maintenance bylaws and compliance, a residential rat remediation program to financially assist eligible homeowners looking to rat-proof their residences, and create a budget for a corporate rat management plan that would include dedicated staff, hotspot identification, and public education.
The larger costs would be as part of the multi-year budget discussion, so I think that that's an appropriate place for it.
And solutions can't come soon enough for Jesse Green, who found a new rat hole under his porch.
Over here, we just noticed that there's actually been rodents getting in there, so we spoke with the city.
A council committee will consider the new rat strategy at a meeting on June 8th. Daryl Newcomb, CTV News.
A public information meeting was held downtown tonight ahead of a major restoration at St. Peter's Cathedral Basilica.
Over the next few weeks, we're going to start seeing scaffolding going up at the front, and at that point we're going to be looking at the materials, the damage that's been caused by water damage over the past few years, and we're going to be looking at paint choices and flooring samples and things like that. But a lot of the next phase is simply investigation, because we haven't looked at this since the outside shell of the building was restored 20 years ago.
Parish officials say the restoration will address significant water damage, restore pews, remove flooring, and upgrade electrical systems. The church was established downtown more than 140 years ago and will continue offering masses during the renovations.
We're almost 100% certain that we will not be closing it. Certain sections of it will be under scaffolding, under tarps, things like that, because we have to have a contained area when we're removing asbestos in the flooring, when we're removing lead off the wall surfaces, things like that. But that's going to be done in sections.
London firefighters are crediting smoke detectors for ensuring everyone made it out of a burning townhouse complex last night. The flames broke out in London's North End just after midnight, and with more on the response, here's Sean Irvin.
The intensity of a fire at a North London housing cooperative is evident in daylight. Just 8 hours earlier, a resident captured the video of the fast-moving fire lighting up the night sky. Meanwhile, this man had just stepped into his vehicle on Silverbrook Drive when he noticed the flames. He called 911.
I saw that there was some kind of light coming from the back. First, I thought it was a street light, but then it got more, like it started glowing more. And I looked back and I saw the house was on flames.
Katra immediately joined other neighbors in attempting to alert all those at risk near the 3 units ablaze.
You know, everything was burning and falling apart.
It took less than 5 minutes for London firefighters to respond. They worked to determine if anyone was trapped.
So they took an aggressive attack upon arrival, not knowing who was in and who was out of the house.
The residents in the middle unit most damaged by the fire told us off camera they were watching TV when they were alerted to the flames. They escaped with their children and their dog, but the search for 2 cats continues. It is believed the blaze began in the back area of one unit. An official cause will take time to determine.
So we have 12 people displaced as a result of this. We estimate it as well over $1 million worth of damage.
While the loss of their homes is upsetting, one family expressed gratitude to firefighters, who in turn gave credit to working smoke detectors.
Working smoke alarms save lives. This is a good illustration of when it does occur. Residents quickly evacuated there. If we had to go in and rescue people inside, it may have put additional people at risk.
In London, Sean Irvin, CTV News.
A longtime Stratford pizza restaurant will close later this month. It's operated in the Stratford Mall for decades, but the owner says since the pandemic, business just hasn't been the same. Jeff Pickle reports.
Vinny's Pizza is a major part of Brittany Sage's life.
I was just looking for my first job and I applied, and yeah, I've been here ever since.
From her first job at 15 to becoming the owner 5 years later, Sage says serving up fresh slices, pasta, and salads is a passion.
I just loved what I did, and she was retiring, and I decided to buy it from her because I love what I did, and I just wanted to keep doing it.
But after 33 years in operation, Vinny's, located in the Stratford Mall, is closing on June 20th. Sage says the business never fully recovered from the effects of the pandemic.
So since COVID, I've actually been working 2 years by myself with no employees, just trying to make ends meet. I did get the $60K business loan from the government, but unfortunately it was expected to be paid back in 2 years. And obviously that's very hard.
Sage says the sale of the mall in 2022 and an increase in rent proved to be too much to overcome.
I tried to make it work despite everything because my heart is in this.
The current mall ownership say when they took over the shopping center, Vinny's lease had already expired, saying in a statement to protect their tenancy, ownership offered them a new long-term lease to which they declined. Ownership allowed the tenant to continue to operate on a month-to-month basis, even though it's not their standard policy. With a planned upcoming mall renovation and while struggling to meet financial obligations, Vinny's say they were told they were done. Mall ownership say Stratford Mall worked extensively with the tenant over a number of years and made significant efforts to support the business and help it succeed. Sage says she wishes there was more runway to turn things around.
If it was about the money, I probably would have closed up shop a long time ago. But my heart's been in this, and this is my passion. This is what I love to do.
Despite serving Stratford with award-winning pizza, Sage says she is not able to relocate the store.
It's just not financially feasible right now. People don't realize how small businesses are really still struggling to get through COVID times.
After a summer of rest, Sage says her post-Vinny's journey will begin. Jeff Pickle, CTV News, Stratford.
A young woman who recently went through cancer treatment is sharing her story and what a recent program at LHSC has meant to her. It's designed to support young people dealing with cancer diagnoses going beyond their required medical treatment. Lauren Stallone reports.
Ishtar Samano is a patient here at Victoria Hospital in London.
I was diagnosed, unfortunately, with stage 4 Hodgkin's lymphoma in July 2025.
Now, as LHSC celebrates its one-year anniversary of the Adolescent and Young Adult Oncology Program, Samano is sharing her story.
I was always in pain. I had a very intense back pain. I didn't want to suffer any longer, so I decided it was best to go ahead and start chemotherapy without any fertility preservation.
She has been in complete remission since December 2025, but had to undergo a stem cell transplant in January.
It carried a high risk of premature menopause and ovarian failure. So when I met with AYA Oncology, they actually told me that there is another fertility preservation option.
Ovarian tissue cryopreservation, which is a technology that's been used worldwide that actually takes the ovary from the patient who's undergoing cancer treatment, freezes it, and then transplants it back when the patient is ready to have a family.
Samano says she is thankful for the support she received from the AYA Oncology program during her treatment.
They were able to send me resources, for example, mental health resources, because a cancer diagnosis is very hard as it is. And I felt that being at this age, nobody really is going through it.
Experts say every year in Ontario, more than 6,000 adolescent and young adults aged 15 to 39 are in active cancer treatment.
One of the things that this program is doing is raising awareness for AYA cancer. So even though it's rare, it's still really, really important.
The program is aimed at supporting patients like Samano along their journey.
Don't be ashamed to get out there and to try to find things that would comfort you.
Lauren Stallone, CTV News.
Officials at City Hall are considering growing trees in municipal nurseries to lower cost and avoid tree shortages.
We want to plant more native species, but so does everyone else in the area, so we sometimes have a hard time getting that stock.
To achieve the city's tree canopy target by 2065, 6,000 trees must be planted per year on municipal properties and boulevards, and that costs more than $3 million a year. Next week, a committee will consider launching a feasibility study about a municipal nursery to avoid purchasing trees from suppliers.
So whether that's, a municipally owned tree nursery, whether we could do multi-year contracts and save money by, committing to a longer-term investment. And so staff are bringing back a report looking at, the various options and how do we figure out what is the most cost-effective for Londoners.
The lineup for this year's Home County Music and Art Festival has been revealed. Canadian folk singer Valdi is returning to Victoria Park this year. He was part of the inaugural festival in 1974. Other headliners include Indigenous electronic group Hallucination and indie folk act the Rural Alberta Advantage. This year's event runs July 24th and 25th. Later on CTV News, the return of Zellers. After a successful relaunch out west, the iconic retailer is expanding to southwestern Ontario this summer. The technology and base metal sectors dragged down stock markets today. In Toronto, the TSX lost 368 points. In New York, the Dow fell 621. The Nasdaq dropped 240. The Canadian dollar down a quarter cent today. On commodity markets, gold dropped more than $50 an ounce. Oil gained $2.26 a barrel. White House officials are seemingly shifting the goalposts again when it comes to global tariffs. After the U.S. Supreme Court struck down previous tariff measures, the focus now seems to be on curbing imports made with forced labor. With more on what that could mean for Canada, here's Abigail Beeman.
Hello. Just hours after the U.S.-Canada trade minister said he had a positive meeting with Jamieson Greer, Greer's office said Canada is among the countries that could be hit with a new 10% tariff for failing to take action on forced labor. The failure of our most important trading partners to address the importation of goods made with forced labor is unacceptable. This creates a dynamic where American workers are forced to compete globally on an unlevel playing field, Greer said.
This is not a surprise.
The Prime Minister pointed out the vast majority of goods fall under the Canada-U.S.-Mexico free trade deal and won't be impacted. He says Canada supports the overall objective.
We made some changes earlier this year on things that candidly were not as effective, so there's ways we can change things legislatively. We'll be proposing that to the House in the coming weeks.
LeBlanc wouldn't answer whether he and Greer discussed Canada's move to allow some Chinese EVs into the market.
We don't discuss publicly the content of private conversations or private discussions.
U.S.-Canada expert Christopher Sands says the U.S. is intentionally moving some trade irritants outside CUSMA.
The good news is that might mean the USMCA could move as far as renewal or that the negotiations could be more constructive going forward. The bad news is this is designed to keep the U.S. with leverage, even if we renew USMCA, because we have these other issues that we could use to impose tariffs on Canada.
Now, these tariffs aren't in place just yet. Experts say important to point out there is a process. The USTR will hold hearings about them July 7th. Abigail Beeman, CTV News, Washington.
Good evening, I'm Rita Ismail. As we head into the night, calm, clear conditions, although slightly on the warmer side. We have an area of high pressure that dominated our forecast today, which meant lots of sunshine. We are tracking the next low pressure system that will push through just in time for the weekend. But Thursday looks absolutely beautiful in terms of sunshine and warmth. If you're a fan, we're expecting to hit 30 degrees tomorrow. The winds will start to gust out of the southwest, 20 to 40 kilometers per hour ahead of that system that will bring rain showers and possibility for some thunderstorms for your weekend. I'll walk you through the full forecast right after the break.
Welcome back with Rita on the desk now, taking a look at the forecast, and it has been dry, warm. In terms of enjoying outside conditions, it's been lovely, but we are due for some rain, it feels like.
100%, Carlyle. Even for someone like me who loves the sunshine and dry conditions, we need that rainfall. And good news for us, we do have a little bit in store. The timing, though, a little bit tricky. It's going to arrive just in time for the weekend. Today, though, gorgeous day in terms of sunshine, wall to wall. 27 degrees are high, sitting well above what's normal for us this time of year, which is 22 degrees overnight. We did drop down to 8. Now, the record, it was on this day in 1943. We hit 28 degrees, so we just almost made that record today. That's how warm it was right across the region. Heading into the night, calm, clear conditions. Remaining on the mild side, though, in terms of our temperatures into the double digits tonight. You can see this massive area of high pressure, which has allowed us to dodge much of the moisture that is surrounding the Great Lakes. As this high pressure slowly starts to exit Friday, we are going to see a low pressure system swing through. So tomorrow, lots of sunshine, much like today, but warmer. Our temperature will climb to near 30 degrees across the region. You could see the system moving in Friday afternoon. Lots of cloud cover in the afternoon, and then the rain later in the evening with some embedded thunderstorms possible as well as you head into Saturday. By Saturday afternoon, we're hoping it clears out for the London area. Now tomorrow, again, mainly sunny sky, 16 degrees right off the bat, and then climbing. The humidity will also be climbing tomorrow. 30 degrees our temperature, feeling slightly warmer than that, and the UV index quite high at 9 for tomorrow. The winds, they're going to start to pick up as well. They'll be out of the southwest ahead of that system, gusting up to 40 kilometers per hour. So Thursday, Friday look similar, except for Friday night. Keep in mind, if you do have outdoor plans, you might need to grab that umbrella. We are expecting that rain to move in Friday evening and then throughout Friday night into Saturday, which in terms of timing, it'll be great if it moves out by Saturday afternoon, making way for outdoor activity. Sunday looks to be nice at 26 degrees, a mix of sun and cloud, and that heat and humidity return on Monday and Tuesday into next week with wall-to-wall sunshine and a high of 29 degrees. Midwestern Ontario, 27 for Thursday, mix of sun and cloud. Cloudy conditions Friday afternoon. Again, night showers Friday into Saturday. There are some embedded thunderstorms with this low pressure system, especially since our temperatures will be quite high. And then heading into Sunday, it seems to linger a little bit longer for you, so you might see that shower activity Sunday throughout the day as well. Into Monday, there is that chance, and then recovering nicely as we head into next week, Tuesday, 29 and lots of sunshine. Carlyle?
Thanks, Rita. Zellers is expanding, bringing back a new store to southwestern Ontario. With more on the Canadian retailer's return more than a decade after shutting down, here's Travis Fortnum.
The list of stores inside Tecumseh Mall will soon have a new name at the bottom. Alphabetically.
We got Zellers coming to this mall.
13 years after shutting down, Zellers is returning to Tecumseh Mall. Its first standalone store reopened in Edmonton last fall. Now 2 more are coming to Ontario.
It's amazing. Yeah, I think that's great. I mean, I feel like Windsor needs something like that back.
We like to go in and try stuff on. Zellers has been a Windsor landmark for so long. Come on back, Zellers.
I think it's a good idea. Technically speaking, I love to shop anything Canadian.
It'll suit the area perfectly. I think they'll be successful.
The company agrees. In a statement to CTV News, Zellers COO Joey Bonita says after the success of its Edmonton store, the company began looking for the next locations, saying, quote, Windsor represented an opportunity where everything aligned in a meaningful way. Bonita also calls Tecumseh Mall an ideal partner, citing the brand's long history in the community. And it's that history that has many shoppers looking forward to the return.
We used to shop there when I was younger
with my grandmother.
Oh, yeah, I loved it when we had it. I don't know why they closed it.
I think it's a good strategy to be diving into people's nostalgia because it results in more social connectedness.
Pushpinder Gill, an assistant professor of marketing at the University of Windsor, says nostalgia isn't just for people who remember shopping at Zellers. He says younger generations can still connect with the brand, creating what marketers call a sense of collective nostalgia. And even with the growth of online shopping, Gill says many consumers still value the experience of browsing in person.
Customers would like to get surprised. Customers would like to roam around the store because it lowers their level of anxiety.
Zellers is opening a store in Toronto later this month. The Tecumseh Mall location is expected to follow in July. It will be inside the mall this time and smaller, so likely no restaurant this iteration. Travis Fortnum, CTV News.
Finally tonight, it's OFSA Championship Week, meaning high school teams are vying for provincial supremacy. That includes a local athlete from Banting taking part in multiple para events in track and field. Brett Lail reports.
Good. Linus Gatson is ready to take on the competition at OFSA.
I'm competing in shot put. 100-meter sprints and 800-meter distance because those are the para events.
He's going to provincials after a strong showing at WASA.
The 800, I set a record, so I'm the record now.
Behind the line, yep. We've been very fortunate over the years to have some great para-athletes, and Linus came to us last year after his parents moved to Western as professors, and he joined us here at Banting. So he's now competed with us for 2 years as well as the swim team, and we're very, very fortunate to have him. He has a great outlook.
Linus competes in the visually impaired category. Well, that's a PB. When he was just 5 months old back in Germany, he fell off the couch and went to hospital with a brain bleed.
They cut like 30% out of my brain. So, yeah, I had to retrain everything I can do with the left side of my body. It's a hemiparesis, so the left side of my body is affected. Both of my eyes function normally, but they only see the right side of the vision field, so I have only 50% vision.
In the running events, he has a good shot to medal at OFSA, although he's an underdog in the shot put.
It's a little bit more difficult because the visually impaired sometimes are a little bit more physically capable than he is. But again, no excuses. He makes it work, and he works hard to do the best he can.
And it's that outlook which makes him a pleasure to coach.
It's not about the medals, it's more about the fun. So I like competing, and yeah. Other people never get the chance to compete, so I compete for those.
Brent Lail, CTV News.
That's it for us. Thanks for watching. For all of us at CTV News London, I'm Carlyle Fiset. Have a good night.